those things.
All right, listening to season for episode 42 of the PreGame Podcast. We got a special guest. Shout out to Andrew Adeniyi, he author of The Circle of Leadership. Make sure y'all go cop that, man.
Round of applause.
Round of applause, man.
Thank
and yes, this is a GH episode. If you mad, stay mad. Nothing we can do about it. We can do about it. Sorry.
It's our show.
Right. We here now, though.
Word to Jeff.
Indeed.
I'm a little mad at Jeff,
That wasn't even
man.
paper. That's like
more
cardboard.
plastic.
You tried it, though. It was cool.
But y'all knew what I was doing.
I'm going to get on
cute.
Jeff later. I'm a little mad at Jeff, man.
We're going to talk about that. But anyways, man, listen.
He ain't going to hear it, but it's cool.
Another round of applause for the author, poet,
Thank you.
business executive, all-around leader, Andrew Adeniyi, man. Let's go. Round of applause. Another one.
Book clap.
Y'all are too kind, man. I appreciate
Book
it.
clap.
Indeed. All right, man, listen. Before we get into it, no, first question. Nah. We should do the PreGamepad Quiz first.
We should, but you should also have them tell them where people can find them first.
Yeah, let's do that. My bad.
That's where
Thank
you was
Deuce.
going.
What's good, everybody? This is Andrew Adeniyi. It's a pleasure to be on here. So thank you to the brothers of the PreGame Podcast. But you can connect with me on Twitter, Instagram, _AA Solutions. That's _AA Solutions. That's Instagram, Twitter. Connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Last name ADENIYI. First name Andrew.
Jimmy from LinkedIn.
I completely missed it. I have no idea where that came from.
Man,
I gotta find it.
Man.
I thought I was the only one.
I didn't know.
Shout out to Jimmy Diggs. Okay, go ahead, my bad, bro.
No, that's it. Twitter, Instagram, both great ways to connect, and LinkedIn as well.
Website coming soon. What's that URL gonna be hitting for?
Website coming. I don't know, man. I have a couple. I'm wrestling with.
Okay.
I got AndrewADE.us that I'm thinking about. You know, when you have a last name that's hard to just know how to spell out the gate, it makes it a little difficult to make it
That's
easy.
true.
So
What about AA Solutions?
So, man,
So you thought about that already?
I have thought
that was the
about
first
it.
thing I thought of.
It's one of those things where when you got a day hustle and an after day hustle, you want to be cognizant of what you're pushing, what you're representing. So I'm trying to make it more personal.
Understood.
So more to come.
That's real.
Yeah,
We'll let y'all know when he drops it.
absolutely.
Indeed, we got you. Let's get into it though, man. PreGamepad Quiz, which I got
First.
for Andrew.
All right, so I just know it's gonna be asked again, so I won't get mine out the way. You can pick anybody to do the audio book for your book that's coming out this week. Who would you choose?
That's a great question.
That's
It could be
excellent
sentimental,
question.
celebrity, whoever you feel like would, you know what I'm saying, get your thing across the right way.
Nothing sentimental, but from a standpoint of just voices that I think are dope. Probably the dude that does the Allstate commercials.
My man.
Dennis Haysbert.
Evil Denzel.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but just
He was on the show 24.
Was he?
Yeah, I don't know his name though.
Dennis Haysbert, I believe.
Okay, got you.
I feel like with the audio book, you need somebody who's going to kind of captivate the audience and keep you engaged. I feel like he'd do a good job.
It's a good answer.
Great answer.
Appreciate it.
For sure.
All right. Oh, you going?
Now go
All
ahead.
right. So when it comes to, let's say you're doing a tour, public speaking engagements. Are
Yeah.
you the face or do you pay somebody to do that? And if you're paying somebody to do that, who is it?
When you say the face, like my face on advertisement materials, or what do you mean?
On advertisement, the speaker or something, or maybe you get somebody else to do that. Is it you or is it somebody else?
No, it's definitely me. It's
Okay.
definitely me. Yeah, I definitely do speaking engagements,
Okay.
workshops. I could facilitate lunch and learns and different things for you. So, no, I can handle all of that for you.
Basically hit his line because he's available.
Yeah, make it happen.
Get in touch.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same realm of question. Oprah used to do like, the book thing where Oprah bring you on her show and talk about your book. If you could have one celebrity bring you on a platform and talk about your book, who would that person be?
Barack Obama out the gate. Out the gate.
Obama does
Shout
a
out to
podcast
Barry,
now,
man.
don't he? I think Michelle does.
Obama,
at least.
yeah, she does.
Just pull up to Michelle's.
Yeah, I mean, all it takes is one. I read this book.
Hey,
I have really enjoyed the way niggas be like, oh,
Yeah, let me get it.
where do I get it?
Yeah, you would,
Right,
you would
you not
definitely
need it.
sell out.
hey, while I have
immediately.
this moment, I also want to let y'all know I don't appreciate the D-Wade slander.
okay.
Y'all been slandering my mans for
There'll
too long.
be more. Don't worry.
He's
about
been
it.
doing a lot of weird shit the last couple
He
of
has,
years.
and he needs to be held accountable. But when it comes to the court, though,
This
we
is me
can't
with Paul
disrespect
Pierce.
this
That's what I
success.
say all the
So
time.
he'll be another person that I would love to
Really?
introduce or release the book. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
You trying to get the
You get a lot of different avenues. You pick D-Wade today.
Diversity and inclusion.
such a lot of different communities.
Diversity
Sure.
and inclusion.
baby.
Are you trying to get the AA solution way of ways?
I would like to have them in a case. I'm not.
I'm honest. I'm not the biggest fans of the shoes.
Nobody is.
I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Hey, ride for your mans.
I'm sure they're comfortable though.
He's never had a good shoe, and honestly, it probably cost him some years of his career. Like that first Converse shoe was.
To get up 7, fall down.
That was bad.
Fall down 6, get up 7.
The phrase is tight though.
Hey, we used to have them. I used to work at Marshalls. We had them at the Marshalls, nigga. Pallets of them. They weren't going anywhere, nigga. For $39.99.
I understand.
Nobody was buying them.
Dwayne, I know Adidas called Dwayne. I know they did.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Nike was dead.
He paid for it though.
He
kept falling down.
He's an NBA champion, man.
Yes,
Three times.
Three times.
For
sure. Shout out to Bron and shout out to Shaq.
Nah, no sir. That first one.
The first one was all him.
Wade.
He went crazy.
I started something.
Y'all didn't watch the series.
He averaged 40 that last 3 games, right? Something like that.
You don't think that first series was Dwayne Wade?
It was.
I think that first series turned when they started letting Shaq be Shaq again.
Man,
It wasn't about numbers, it was about impact. Y'all can call 3 seconds in the lane? Nope, move, niggas. The lane's open for my nigga.
I think it's very fair to give Dwayne Wade the lion's share of that first ring.
Absolutely.
Nah, he went crazy.
For sure.
All right, man. Last question. I know you a big Lil Wayne guy.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite Lil Wayne mixtape and why?
Favorite Lil Wayne mixtape, man. It's
Drop 3.
I don't know, man.
Why you trying to persuade a nigga like that?
That's difficult. Can I do favorite song?
Yeah, that's better.
Let me do
you know what's so crazy about Wayne's mixtape era? There were times where I didn't know what songs attached to which tape, so it's hard to even really pick a tape.
Exactly.
You would hear some leaks and be like, wait, what was that for? Louisiana come out, you hear the same song with Louisiana that you heard on the drought, and be like, so...
He had so much music he was putting out too, man. It was crazy. But I'll say BMJR, when the beat drops, it's just... I lose my mind every time.
He doesn't know any of the words.
It's all out assault.
That's unfortunate.
For sure. You don't know BMJR though?
Not the words.
That's crazy. That's interesting.
That's definitely explicit, but it's a good song.
It's not really interesting, guys. It's not a serious Lil Wayne.
That's crazy.
So.
It's okay. I told y'all my Lil Wayne era. I haven't moved from that yet.
That's what's up.
Y'all can keep trying to drag me back to C1, but
I respect it.
He made it awkward, man. He made it awkward.
Did I?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you miss Lil Wayne?
I do.
Okay.
No Ceilings was it for me. That was the last
time
I heard some super quality.
Sorry for the Wait was fire.
You got a room
full length project though.
You got a room full of denial.
The Carter 4 is solid.
I need more solid, man.
Blunt Blowing's on there, which is cool. Mega Man's on there, which is alright.
6 foot, 7 foot. The Carter 4 is nice.
Carter 4 has some heat.
All right, guys.
We're not gonna shit on.
Let's move on.
This is what they do. They try to, There's a lot of rose-colored glasses in here when it comes to Lil Wayne.
Nah, he's definitely mid.
Okay.
Hey.
He is now. He's not the same.
It's not about what, you don't talk about Michael Jordan's game, nigga, now, nigga. You talk about what he did when he was dominant.
But when he played for the Wizards, he was mid.
Nobody talks about it.
20 though.
Nobody brings it up. They didn't put it in the Last Dance on purpose.
He just brought it up and y'all tried to turn it into the Bulls, Michael Still. He just said, after, no ceilings, it was trash. I was like, no, but it was kind of still good.
Talk about
some heat on it.
Flu Game Jordan.
That's
what we talk about all the time.
That's what we did before he mentioned after no ceilings.
That's just
Here we go.
He's strange. Let's move on, man. Next, we got Andrew Adeniyi in the building, man. This is a big deal.
Yes, sir.
Circle Leadership. First question: why should people purchase your book? Why is it important for people to get their hands on this piece of work?
I'm passionate about leaders winning. And I think a lot of times leaders don't know how to create an environment where workplaces are engaging and create environments where you want to go to work. And that's a problem. And I think being able to speak to that as a black leader and entrepreneur, I think hopefully it'll resonate with a lot more people, just understanding that there's a lot of different things that I've had to navigate as a black executive in America. And I think my perspective that I share will be valuable for people.
It's definitely imperative in a time like this. Like, for me, I'm in the office still, and like company morale in the toilet. Like, niggas don't want to be there. COVID's going on. People feel like it's not being handled properly. Like, do you feel like this would be a nice tie-in to what you're preaching in your book right now?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the Gallup polls and a lot of the polls that are out there. 2/3 of people hate their jobs. Not like kind of dislike it, but like hate their jobs.
Can't stand being there.
I killed
exactly, and that's a problem. You think about how much time you spend at work in your life. You shouldn't hate your job.
I can't do it.
Yeah, and what I realized was senior leaders specifically, they play the biggest role in creating an environment where people love coming to work. And I saw too many leaders failing at creating that environment, and I wanted to do something about it, to change that up. And I think there's an easy framework that leaders can follow to be able to create that dynamic workplace culture.
That's real. Now, you mentioned culture a lot. So in your opinion, I know this is probably covered in the book, but just give us, a taste.
Yeah. Taste. In terms of what culture is?
Yeah, what defines a great culture for organization?
So let's define culture first. So I like to consider it the unwritten yet commonly followed laws of behavior, or rules of behavior, if you will. It's those guiding principles that help people determine what to do and what not to do without their leader or a handbook telling them that. Right. I think about Gamma Eta, right? We're very passionate about Gamma Eta. We had a culture of excellence being our average. We didn't necessarily need to put that into a constitution or handbook, but that's how we carried ourselves. Excellence is our average. That influenced the culture that we had, which influenced the type of people we brought into the organizations, the type of programming we did. The same thing holds true in corporate America. What kind of framework or foundation is created in an organization to where people feel like I know what decisions I need to make without somebody telling me what to make. If that makes sense.
Right. No hand holding.
That's real. Now, you've had a lot of leadership experience, man. Since I've known you, you've always been at the table. You've had a seat. In your opinion, what was that moment that you were like, okay, I knew at an early age, or I knew at this particular time in my life, I need to be in charge. I need to be leading others.
My parents have always been entrepreneurs growing up. And my dad's always said, be the head, not the tail. So I've always known from a young age that I'd be a leader. I would say that light bulb moment was probably when I was in college. Honestly, I got an internship with the International Grocery Store as a district manager intern. And right out of school, after sophomore year in the summer, I was leading store managers who had been with the company longer than I had been alive.
Right.
So I was like, wow, how can I?
They hated you.
This young. I just don't like him. Why?
It's not because if it's getting harder.
I mean,
I don't know. You have to meet him. No, I wouldn't.
A young black male, right? They got kids older than I am, and they've been working at the company longer than I've been alive. And I'm their leader.
Motherfucking boxes up.
And I'm their leader. And I think in that situation, I realized the importance of not letting title or authority be what you use to connect with people, but being able to admit, hey, I don't have all the answers. You may know a better way than me. And being humble enough to admit that and being able to communicate, it's a team effort. Right? We're on the same team. I'm your coach. I'm not the boss telling you what to do. And that was important. And what I realized was I was able to carry that back over into college. And I remember running for president of our chapter. We were the largest undergraduate chapter in the state. And we had a lot of excellent leaders in our chapter. The Darius, the Evans, the Wesley, right? All these different people. And I remember asking myself, how can I lead people who are leaders? And I realized the same principles that I learned in corporate America. So that was the moment where I realized that I have a unique skill set to lead people. And it comes from a standpoint of connecting with you and working with you instead of like using my authority, if you will.
Wow. We sitting here with excellence. All right, man. So listen, in your opinion, this is a simple question, but I think people want to know, what defines a great leader? How do you know you walk into, a store or a business or a restaurant and okay, hey man, I don't know who's at the top of this, but they doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think if you inspire people and challenge people to do more than they could do with them by themselves, then you're a great leader. If your presence is felt with your team, even when you're not there, you're in a great situation. I remember talking to some of my store managers saying, hey, if you can go on vacation for a couple of weeks and come back and your store hasn't missed a beat,
right,
you have a great culture and you're a great leader. People know how to make decisions and take on responsibility regardless if you're there. So I think that's huge. Also, people love coming to work. If your team is engaged, they like coming to work, they're taking responsibility, then those are signs of good leadership there.
That's good. I think a lot of people need to hear that.
I got a question, and it's more so sports based, but I'm still about leadership. What if I'm getting the good results, but my approach is just very maybe aggressive? I'm thinking of a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, and like they're leaders.
Bill Belichick.
You're gonna play hard on Kobe's team, or I'm gonna fuck you up, honestly. Versus a Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is I think he's more of a, and I can't be sure, but seems like a do it. I'm doing it. Don't you see how hard I'm working? Mm-hmm. LeBron is a fun leader.
Yeah.
Let's get some wine, y'all. Yeah. Chill out. We're good. We got this.
5 and 6, and he's at 3 and 0.
Everything's sweet. So it's like, I mean, but leadership is different. So how do I know even if I'm getting good results, does that mean I'm a good leader? Does that mean I just know how to get results?
Well, to be a leader, people have to be following. So the first question I'd ask is, are people following you?
Yeah.
And it's a combination of playing to your strengths and knowing what you excel at, but also knowing your team. You know, I think about my leadership experience. I can't approach all my people who would be on my team the same way.
Nope.
One person may want me to be super direct, no fluff, tell me like it is, let's get better.
Right.
While another leader, if I took that same approach, they may break down crying in that conversation. So that's a combination of me knowing what I naturally gravitate towards and how I want to lead, as well as knowing my personnel.
Got it.
Definitely know your personnel.
KYP.
That's real. All right, man. So if I'm struggling as a leader, you know, things aren't going well, I just want to strengthen my skills. What are some things that I can start to practice right now? Some strategies that I can go ahead and take into work tomorrow is going to get my team heading in the right direction.
I would say be willing to be a continuous learner. If you feel like you figured it out and you got it all, you know exactly what to do, that's a problem. You should be in the mentality of I can always grow and improve, and I want to do that. So reading, podcasts, whatever that is, I think that's important. Also asking for feedback, being willing to take that feedback and put yourself in the hot chair and tell your team, hey, how can I get better? And be able to listen. Right, there's a difference from hearing and listening, and really being able to listen and take that and use it to get better. So those are very easy things that you can do today is learn and get feedback and then apply the feedback that you get.
That's real.
So and we not really glossed over it, but can you speak to what the catalyst was to get you to write this book in the first place? I read the foreword, you sent it out early, but let the people know.
So I used to work for an international retailer in Indiana, and they were considered one of the top 3 divisions of over 20 divisions nationwide, and really good culture, really good leadership. And I was one of 6 district managers at the time selected to go to D.C. to help with that division, newer division, struggling division. And I was told beforehand, hey, we're still trying to work some things out. We're not as good as the Indiana division. And I got there and I realized it felt like a completely different company. It was a terrible place. They didn't have that same mentality of excellence, and this is who we are. Similar to how I mentioned with Gameta, they didn't have that. And one of the things I started realizing very quickly was leadership and culture were a lot different. No difference in terms of access to talent, no difference in terms of training, none of that. The only difference was leadership. And I remember in that moment I said, wow, this division could be significantly better if they focus on the culture in this division as well as senior leadership was better. So that was one of the biggest things that made me say, hey, I know a framework that can be used to be able to take that culture to where the culture that I had previously been at was at.
That's real.
Yeah.
Now you got your hands in a lot of different businesses, a lot of different teams. You're currently one of the executives for the Can I Be Real Incorporated organization, nonprofit here in Indianapolis, Indiana, who's focused on ensuring equity is introduced in all factors of society. So with that being said, can you explain your role? And then right now we're in trying times. People consider this to be racial awakening, social justice at the forefront of every business model. What are some things, or how do we improve on that in any business structure, adding that into our framework, if you will, for our leadership heading forward, or moving forward, excuse me?
Yeah, I appreciate the question, man. But so my role with Can I Be Real, I'm a co-founder, and I'm also on the board of directors for Can I Be Real. Shout out to Mark Hardy, my co-founder as well. He came to me with the vision, with just a purpose and just a passion, and I helped him kind of create some structure around it, and we turned it into a nonprofit organization, and our goal is to eliminate ignorance. We feel like ignorance is at the root of a lot of the issues we see in society today, so how can we challenge that and change that? So that's what we're really trying to do. I would say in today's world, if you're somebody who has realized that there's issues happening and you want to do something about it, stay at home, or start at home, I should say. Right,
but stay at home too.
Stay at home too, please.
Wear your mask.
Yeah, I came with my mask today.
Wash your hands.
But start at home. I tell parents, have you talked to your kids about race? Non-black parents, Have you talked to your kids about race? Because the fact of the matter is, as black individuals, we all know we have to have that talk with our kids. It should be the same way in white families. They should have that talk about what their ancestors have done historically and the impact that's had on black and brown
pressure.
Yeah.
I feel like if you say that to somebody, I think the safe answer is, I teach my kids not to see color.
It's time to educate. You need to see color.
There's
you need
color.
to appreciate color.
Because color exists.
There's difference in color. Color exists.
But I think that's always the default.
And
I've always taught my kids not to see color.
Right.
They just see people.
That's the problem.
That's cute. Color really is
sounds good.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Yeah. So hopefully I answered the question, but yeah, that's what we're trying to do, man. If everyone wants to get connected, cannotbereal.com. Definitely reach out to us or link with us on social media. Looking to get as many people on the team as possible.
Indeed. Shout out to Can I Be Real, man.
Gang.
Yeah.
I always say this. It's easy to complain and gripe and analyze, but it's way harder to actually take action and find solutions. Yeah. Especially in this work with social injustices.
Shout out to all the allies.
Yeah.
For sure.
I had a question, more so back to the book.
Yeah.
So you're saying you working for an international retailer. So obviously a lot of your experience comes from bigger business. Who do you think needs like your services or the way you can educate more, the bigger businesses or the smaller businesses?
I would say both, but I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so I really want to teach these practices to aspiring leaders and entrepreneurs or current leaders and entrepreneurs, because if you know the importance of culture when you're first starting that LLC or that business entity, you're going to be less likely to have a poor culture as you grow. Okay. So if you can do that foundationally, I think that's huge. But I don't want to shy away from addressing the large organizations that need this too, because they impact on a larger scale way more people. So if leaders can embrace some of the strategies that I talk about, they can impact hundreds, potentially thousands of people.
Way more people.
Yeah.
If you can, man, can you kind of speak to, I guess, from seed to tree of how you went about getting the book done? Like, what was some of the first steps and how that process goes?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. I would say first start with, what are you passionate about writing about? I've been writing this book for about a year. It's a long process. It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of consistency. So you need to be focusing on something that you love, something you're passionate about. And I was passionate about these things. And that helped me to be able to connect with people who could speak to it, interview people, continuously write. So find a topic that you're passionate about. I would say that's huge. And then just write. Literally just write. Don't spend so much time editing and worrying about grammar. Just get thoughts and words on paper, get interviews on paper. That way you just have content to be able to chisel as you go on. So I would say those are some of the biggest pieces. Know what you want to write about, at least general enough what you're passionate about, and then just put as much words down on paper as possible.
Okay,
get started, yeah.
Can you talk to the supply chain of it? Like, so who'd you go through? Well, this might be kind of like dull for some people, but there's people out there who want to get books out. So what site did you go to, publishing, from publishing to actually getting it to the people? How's that process been?
Yeah, so typically from a publishing standpoint, you can go with a publisher or you can self-publish. When you self-publish, you own pretty much everything to your book, right? When you go with a publisher, they may have rules and regulations that you have to fall within. They may have input on your cover or your topic. And then there's hybrid models, which that's kind of a growing trend, and that's actually what I'm utilizing. So I'm part of a book program. My frat brother, Jeremiah Reed, actually put me onto it. It's a hybrid model of using a publisher, and my publisher is called New Degree Press. However, I own the royalties for everything that I do in my book. And the way that we're able to do that is I use the system that they provide, and ultimately they get to put their name on my book, and I get to be one of the authors that they've worked with, so they can use that for marketing. But ultimately, every book that I sell, I get to own all of that. So I would say if somebody's interested in figuring out what that looks like for them, just understand the differences from using a traditional publisher, self-publishing, and doing a hybrid model. Okay. I know you guys have connected with Mark in the past. He self-published, for example. So there's pros and cons to everything. You just have to understand that and know what works best for you.
That's real. Now you also are a consultant. Excuse me. So if you are a small business and you're looking for some help, you feel like some things could be better.
Yeah.
Make sure you get in contact with Andrew.
Slap his line.
Yeah, business strategy, HR, diversity and inclusion. That's really my bread and butter.
Yeah, some people need it. They missing things.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. Indeed.
It's a fact.
That'll be later in the show.
That's a fact.
Absolutely.
For sure.
That'll be later in the show.
They're missing things.
Triple entendre.
Don't even ask me how.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all catch that one later.
Are there any leaders that you specifically look to saying like, wow, this is great, I want to continue to emulate this person moving forward in my career?
Yeah, there's some thought leaders and authors that I definitely look up to. Simon Sinek, he's written several books. Start With Why is one of my favorite books. Patrick Lencioni, a consultant and author. Those are two people that I really look to. Even Dave Ramsey, a lot of the content that he's provided definitely piques my interest. But
I know some of these words.
Yeah.
Dave.
I've heard of Dave Ramsey.
But any organization that you really, I would say, think of as having a really good cultures, their leadership team are people that I look up to. You think about Southwest Airlines, Disney, right? You think about even like a Chick-fil-A. I know we're canceling them or supposedly canceling them, but you can't deny the culture that they've been able to create in their industry.
My pleasure.
Chick-fil-A.
They have great customer service.
They do.
As evil as they are.
And it's fast food, right? And just it's my pleasure. But there's more to it than that. What's the difference from a Burger King and Chick-fil-A? It's leadership and it's culture.
And chicken.
And chicken.
Yeah, chicken, that's part of it.
The
food's good, but you always just know you're going to get a quality experience Chick-fil-A.
Exactly.
They probably care about, I imagine that they care about the people that work there.
Yes.
I feel like.
You don't mind spending your money at Chick-fil-A.
You done activated my two niggas. Go ahead.
No. You don't mind. Put them in again. Hey, I want to talk to what you just said about the appreciating the people. That's one of the single-handed most important things leaders can do is recognize and appreciate their people. There's a story that really resonated with me. The former CEO of Yum Brands.
Yums.
They have KFC and some other fast food chains. The former CEO, he used to be a senior executive at Pepsi. And one day he said, hey, I want to learn how to merchandise and figure out who's the best merchandiser in the company. And he went to one of their distribution centers in Missouri, and he asked the team there, who's the best merchandiser? And they said, oh, you got to talk to Bob. Talk to Bob. He's the best merchandiser we've ever seen. So he gets at this table and he asks, who's the best person? They all point to Bob. And he's like, Bob. And then everyone's kind of speaking to why Bob is so good. And then he looks over at Bob and he's bawling, just in tears, crying. And he's like, Bob, why are you crying?
Bob didn't know he was that good.
Bob had no idea.
He said, I'm about to retire in 2 weeks. I've been working for the company for over 20 years. I had no idea people felt this way.
That's crazy.
And that story really resonated with me because I want to do everything in my power to make sure I never have a Bob on my team. That's a problem to me.
Yeah.
Because Bob should have known way before 2 weeks we about to retire.
Should have been got his flowers.
Yeah, he didn't get his flowers, and now he can barely smell them.
And a lot of leaders think that if they give that praise, they'll stop doing what they've been doing. But it's actually the opposite. People need that fuel to keep going and keep doing the good work.
Gas me up. You like how I did that yesterday? But you know I did this shit again today.
I got you.
Should have seen me this morning.
I'm about to go crazier today. You make me feel good.
Now that raise.
Yeah.
Right.
That's real, man.
That's when it gets
shit
tough.
stops.
Yeah. Oh,
you've been telling me good job about 2 years.
Hey, so for those that don't know Drew actually can rap. It's a talent of his, man. He could have been on the freshman XSL list in like 2012, 2013 if he tried.
He used to tote the rock too.
Entourage is the best word. I don't care what nobody say.
It's a lot. It's a lot of lyrics out there.
That's for sure.
It's a lot. You even had a mixtape in college, which is crazy to think about now. But is there a specific rapper, or somebody or artist where you're like, man, okay, this project defines my approach to leadership, or it motivates you to go out and be an amazing leader?
That's a really good question. So
He's
I'm a
hoping for an
lyricist.
answer. I'm gonna keep the bug with you.
Yeah, what was that?
Good question, my brother.
He's fishing for an answer.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I would say lyrically, Sahai the Prince is one of the top lyricists for me.
Punchline guy.
I'm big on punchlines, man. That's entertaining. I'm a poet as well, poet at heart, and I think there's poetry infused within his work. I think about Ivy League was one of his projects that really resonated with me. He was talking about black excellence and some of the historical black people in history. So
Sahai's always been community based too. Like that's always been a central theme of what he puts out.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That's a good question.
He should put another project. It's a perfect time to do so, Sahai.
He's also in the
I don't know if you're listening.
He's in the Kanye sweatshop.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He just dropped him and Trinidad James and Big Crit was just on a track like last night they put out.
Trinidad?
That's unfortunate.
That's crazy.
Trinidad has a classic.
Yeah.
He deserves a spin.
Sahai's, he's locked up in Wyoming right now.
Trinidad's a classic one-hit wonder.
Yeah. Like a big one.
He's still. We made fun of Trinidad James. Trinidad James is still moving within the culture.
Still getting money. So.
He's active. He's just not rapping,
right.
which is fine.
Which is good. I think he knows
That's
why.
okay. It's completely fine.
That's real.
He's still on guest lists when he needs to.
That's one of white folks' favorite songs.
Absolutely.
That nigga, they just stood, they can't stop me from doing all three of them. I'm going to get one.
Get in there.
yeah. Oh, shit.
For sure. What is the mountaintop experience for you, man? That pinnacle of success where you're like, okay, I finally made it. This is it. With your new book that's coming out.
The Rocky moment.
I would say any employee engagement or organizational culture conference or workshop, if you will, that's like on a very large platform that I was the keynote speaker for, that's huge for me. Getting paid to come speak somewhere and talk about the contents of my book, that's huge. I put a lot of work into this book. This is not one of those books where I can check the box, so I got a book done. Nah, there's a lot of research that came in here, like a lot of statistics and things that I read through with Harvard Business Review, and even in my grad program from Michigan State. I've taken a lot of those resources on this book, so I stand very firm on that.
So you're not B. Simone right now. This is serious.
Nah, right.
I'm glad. No. Oh, my bad.
A weak ass manifestation.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people do things to check the box.
Right.
That they're not really passionate. Well, I'm gonna do this because people will look at me and be like, "Oh, he did that," but no, you're passionate about that.
Yeah.
And that's to me that's gonna make. I feel like the quality is gonna be better if you put your heart and soul into it.
You talk about 10,000 hours, right? I put my 10,000 hours into the content that's in this book.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Hey, hard work pays off.
Hey, let's give a round of applause for Andrew Adeniyi, man. Poet, author, business leader, you name it.
Appreciate it, man.
Dad,
appreciate
all that shit.
Having you, man. Dad,
father, husband.
Number one, father,
a
husband,
lot of hats,
all
man.
that.
Hey, I do want to say thank you for having me, man. It's been a pleasure. For those of you who don't know, I've been connected with the podcast behind the scenes for many years.
Yeah.
And this
He's
is
the
my
first studio
appearance.
manager.
Yeah, we actually don't have a podcast without you.
Yeah, man. But I just want to encourage anybody who's out there listening who has a passion, has a dream, and they don't know really how to go forward. I remember when Lloyd Willen connected with me and said, "Hey, I want to do a podcast." And I remember having that conversation before this existed, and to see what him and the team have created it's inspiring, and it inspires me every time I listen to the podcast. So shout out to y'all for making dreams come true, and I hope that y'all inspire somebody else to do something similar as well.
Long way from the
Appreciate
basement
it,
right
man.
now.
Long way from the basement.
Long way from the basement.
Yeah,
man,
with Tyson,
for
right?
sure.
From the
Tyson,
the cardboard.
From the cardboard.
Hey,
the cardboard
big
pieces,
cardboard
bro.
is wild.
Y'all started from
Ruff
the
and
basement.
I was
for
working
real.
on it with the glues out there, like, all right, man, nah, go like this, bro.
The cardboard was so
We
just,
tried.
We really trying
everything.
Now y'all got the
Phantom
Beats
beat
headphones.
that nobody knows what was.
Multiple pairs. Y'all got the studio headphones. Y'all doing it, man.
Yeah,
the
man.
microphones.
We was definitely on 2 mics, wasn't we?
Yes, at one time it
We
was
was on 2
bad.
mics.
Indeed.
Hey,
now, we
man.
appreciate you,
Boys
True. We
would've
love
really
you,
got
bro.
that
Thank you.
COVID.
Love y'all too, man.
Thank you for being on, man.
Thank you.
Make sure I go cop that. This is important. And again, Drew has all the credentials. Sometimes you run to the office, like, man, how you know?
Do you
All right, do you really have a resume for you to cop this? But nah. The
tell people
resume's
about
there.
the avenues they can go to purchase? Because I know I've seen the email, like you have a digital
where
copy and a
and
physical
when.
copy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so website coming soon. So hopefully we can get that in the podcast show notes. But right now, the best way to contact me is just shoot me an email if you want to pre-order the book, Adeniyi. That's my last name, Adeniyi 1906 at Gmail. Shoot me an email.
Mate.
And, I'll be making sure I get that information over to the people at the podcast to be able to put that out. I'd also say that I do want to encourage people to leave a review for the podcast, because the first 5 people who leave a new review for the PreGame Podcast will get a free autograph signed book with a personalized message.
Run it up.
So go ahead and do that.
Not you, Ree. You don't count.
No, I'm saying, like,
And you're not allowed to leave bad reviews on the internet.
Yeah,
y'all
positive.
leave reviews. It's free to leave a review. Just
Positive
gave you a
review.
book for doing some free shit.
Yep, and connect with me or the podcast, and just give information in terms of your email and where we can ship the book to. But as long as you do those things, I will be more than happy to send a free copy of the book.
That's real, man.
He's trying to plant a seed in your life.
Hey, this big bank over here. We discussed 3 before the show, but he got on air and said, you know what, fuck it, 5.
I'll do 5, man. For me, it's not about the money, man. I'm passionate about this content, and I know it's good, so I want to help as many leaders as I can.
That's real. Let's give another round of applause for Andrew, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.
Next.